Howdy, 1 million Cubs. Tyler, do you want to turn my mic up, please, and turn Ellen down for a few minutes? Thank you so much. So we're running a little short on tech crew up there, so be patient with our guys in the booth. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lakin Ani. I'm program director at the North Dakota Women's Business Center. Yeah! I'm super excited to be your MC today for 1 Million Cups because I get to talk about all of my favorite things. I'm really excited to introduce you to a handful of my friends later who are going to be talking about the Mandan 4th of July celebration. So stick around for that and come over to Mandan here in the next few days. Before that, though, we've got some housekeeping. Let's get checked in. I know there's first-timers here, so raise your hand if this is your first time. Awesome. So if it's your first time in-house or watching online, we ask that you download this 1 Million Cups app and check in. You can get that at Google Play or the App Store. This helps our national organization, the Kauffman Foundation, track our numbers and understand how we're doing here in North Dakota. Special thanks to our sponsors. So we don't have a lot of bills, but we do have some necessities. So these folks help us keep the lights on and allow us to volunteer or donate our time to this organization to help keep our entrepreneurial ecosystem alive and thriving. So if you see them, thank them. What is 1 Million Cups? 1 Million Cups is a free weekly program that we put on right here at Dakota Stage for businesses, nonprofit organizations, other community advocates to come together, pitch their idea, get feedback from the audience, and learn about what's going on in our wonderful communities. The question we ask every week, and kind of our main focus, is can we change the face of our startup community over 1 million cups of coffee? We think that is true, and we are well on our way to 1 million cups, especially when you drink out of that guy. So come back every week. After the program today, we're going to have a Q&A session. We'll invite several folks up on stage and give you an opportunity to dig deep into the life of rodeo through their eyes. You can do so either on Twitter, on the Facebook stream, hashtag 1MCND, or you can raise your hand and we'll pass around, again, the giant mug in the audience. Okay, community announcements. This is where folks in the community who have events or other fun happenings can come on down. So if you have one of those, you don't need a slide necessarily to participate. But you can come down and, tell us what's happening.
Test. Yeah, got it. Nailed it. Okay. My name's Kate Herzog. I'm with the Downtowners in Bismarck. Just wanted to let you guys know Beers and Boutiques, which is an event of ours that we put on. It's on August 5th this year. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to our website, downtownbismarck.com. The essential idea of it is, and it's fairly obvious, but you're having some beers, hard seltzers, whatever it is, some samples at a whole bunch of our local either restaurants, shops, boutiques. We do an art and wine walk, so very similar, but with beer. So hope to see you there. I know Jeanne has probably already got her tickets already. Okay, here you go, Kayla.
Thanks. Okay, I'm back here to talk about the roller skating. Again, June and July, we have some roller rink nights where you can rent some skates, but the important one is next Tuesday is our fun rink night. We got some limbo happening, some four corners, if you remember that kind of thing. So come on, you have free roller skate rentals for those events. If you're not so sure about the quads, you can bring your rollerblades, you can bring your scooter, you can bring a wheelchair. Anything on wheels, you can come around and join the Bizman Bombshells, and we're just going to have some fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Kayla. Sounds like a great opportunity to go hang out with our very own Rhubarbarian, Bismarck Bombshells. Okay, this is our event. Last week to register for part 2 of Imposter Syndrome series, with Dr. Rebecca Burson. She's out of Minot and will be joining us on July 9th to talk about how to embrace your fraud and turn your imposter syndrome into a growth opportunity. So you can find tickets for that at ndwbc.com or on Eventbrite. And TEDx Bismarck is back again August 12th. You can find tickets for that at tedxbismarck.com, also on Eventbrite. We've got 10 speakers coming this year. We'll be down at the Bismarck Event Center, followed by an after party at First International Bank and Trust. We'll be on the 2nd-story patio this year, not on the rooftop. Womp womp. But it's going to be great nevertheless. So we've got another morning of really exciting, unique adventures, fun food opportunities to eat during the day, and a great opportunity to connect and share ideas worth spreading with folks in the community. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Ellen Huber. She's representing the MPO, the City of Mandan, the Mandan Rodeo Days Committee, and a host of other things today, but I will let her give her own introduction. Welcome, Ellen.
Well, thank you so much, Lakin. I am super excited to be here. As I was reflecting on this opportunity to talk to you this morning while pitching hay to about a dozen horses at my place, and thinking about my involvement in equine sports and rodeo goes back to being about 3 years old and my first pony. And then, let's see if we get the first slide here. They were joking earlier with me that I'm sometimes dubbed the Queen of Mandan, but really I was a queen once. I was Miss Rodeo North Dakota in 1990, and The significance of that, as we look at this photo of Dakota Centennial Park, is that that was the first year that our rodeo moved from our famed nostalgic grounds in South Mandan that are now softball complexes to this facility on Dakota Centennial Park. And it was reminded this talk with 1 Million Cups is not a sales pitch per se, but rather an opportunity to give you insights into some of the opportunities and challenges that come with hosting events like Mandan Rodeo Days, Art in the Park, and the Independence Day Parade. And so one of those challenges is that this is not a permanent facility. Dakota Centennial Park is a permanent facility, but this rodeo grounds is put up on the racetrack of the Dakota Speedway. And so the volunteers that you're going to meet this morning are part of an amazing group that give countless hours of time to help set up the bucking chutes and the panels and the roping boxes, and even this year, for the second year in a row, we worked with Bowers Excavating to bring in something like 50 truckloads of sand-based dirt to give a proper footing to the arena for the amazing quarter horses that are going to be part of our rodeo in the upcoming days. And so I share that with you as one of the challenges that the Mandan Progress Organization and volunteers face in putting on this event, and our dream that we will someday bring together, again, the Mandan Horse and Saddle Club and the professional rodeo into a permanent rodeo facility that doesn't require so many hours of setup from our park district, our public works department, and these volunteers. So the Mandan Progress Organization is a nonprofit organization that started in 1993, and its space is somewhere between that of a chamber, a downtowners association, and a convention and visitors bureau. It fills an important niche in Mandan where we have tremendous pride in hosting community events, and so really helps to improve our business climate by creating and promoting these events and helping to generate community pride. So it's a small staff and very volunteer-based. As I was talking about these volunteers, you'll see about 30 in this photo, but I think we have more like 60 volunteers at least helping just put on the professional rodeo, and then there's a whole other committees of volunteers helping to put on the Art in the Park Festival and the Independence Day Parade. I was asked this morning if there would be an all-class reunion this year. There isn't an official one because, again, that takes even more volunteers, and that's a challenge over any holiday, but particularly America's holiday of the 4th of July. And so that's one that if we find more volunteers, we can bring that back to Main Street, but this year the Baymont Inn and the Gangle family are bringing in Johnny Holmes for a party in the parking lot, and that'll be one of the sort of all-class conduits, but we also have a fine tradition of bar hopping in downtown Mandan on the 3rd of July. So after you come to the rodeo, you know, hit Main Street or hit Johnny Holmes or the party at the Stage Stop parking lot and take in some of that fun. The sport of rodeo, I think, is for those of us that are adrenaline junkies, whether you're participating or watching. You know, every now and then we have to just do something that gets that heart beating a little faster. And so the events of the sport of rodeo bring together what we call rough stock, which is your bareback riding, saddle bronc riding, and bull riding. These are judged events in which the cowboys are evaluated on their ability to get the most from the animal that they draw, and so there's a luck of the draw element to it. There are also what we refer to as timed events, and those are things like steer wrestling, tie-down roping, team roping, barrel racing, and for the first year this year in the Mandan Pro Rodeo, we have breakaway roping to help bring about more equality for women in the sport of rodeo and giving them another opportunity, and so we're very, very excited about that. I would like to share with you that if you've never been to a rodeo, then this is your opportunity in Mandan, because this is a professional rodeo. And so much like other sports, there are various levels of competition. So you have youth competitions, junior high, high school, collegiate rodeo, of which I was very proud to have my children involved and go on to the national level in that. And then you have amateur and professional rodeo. So, you might liken it to Little League Baseball, Legion Baseball, your amateur softball leagues like the McQuaid tournament that was just held, and then when you go to a Twins baseball game. So coming to the Mandan Rodeo is your closest thing in this area to going to the equivalent of a Twins baseball game in the sport of rodeo. But we combine it with a ton of family entertainment, so you might liken it to a little bit like a Larks game in that respect. So you're going to meet Matt Tarr later. We have a tremendous trick rider coming in this weekend to provide entertainment, and just a lot for everyone. Oh, on the note of professional athletes, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the animals that you're going to see in the arena. Chad Berger Bucking Bulls is part of Dakota Rodeo with Joe Simon, bringing together tremendous bucking bulls and broncs for our contestants. But my personal favorite are the high-powered quarter horses. I'm a barrel racer, still competing kind of what I call old ladies barrel racing. But my kids are ropers, calf ropers, team ropers. And so the quarter horses, and we have about 800 pre-entries in the Mandan Rodeo. When it all settles out, as they try to get to other places like Belfouche, Mobridge, Killdeer, Red Lodge, Prescott, Arizona, Greeley, Colorado, we might see about 100 of those not make it because they have some obligations in these other areas. But in general, we're going to see somewhere around 700 professional cowboys and cowgirls roll into our community starting tomorrow through the 4th of July. And about 650 of those are going to be pulling horse trailers with quarter horses in them that are probably started at a minimum value of $50,000 and go on up to about $250,000. So Art in the Park, that brings together crafts, arts, and live entertainment. And this year it will be held in Heritage Park, and we're taking art into the streets too because of some construction going on in our Dykeshorn Park. And then, of course, there's the food component of it, and, cheese curds, mini donuts, fresh lemonade, need I say more? Lots of reasons to attend Art in the Park. It will be held on June 3rd from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and July 4th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here's a look at the location. So it's on essentially the 200 to 300 blocks of West Main Street, and it'll utilize 2nd and 3rd Avenues too this year. You can find all kinds of information about all of these events online. The Mandan Parade takes place on the 4th of July. It gets underway. I would encourage you to get up bright and early and find your best spot on Main Street. If you would like, you could cheer on or participate as a contestant in the road race. So it's a 5K walk-run that starts in the heart of downtown Mandan near the Art and Park location at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then there are street festivals like characters dressed up to help entertain children starting at 9, classic car parade at 10, and then at 10:30 the traditional parade enters Main Street from the east end. Our theme this year is saluting those who serve, and I understand that a gentleman, a veteran by the name of Vern Huber, no relation, but one of the fine members of our military that has helped to protect our nation's freedom and what this holiday is all about that we celebrate, will be the Grand Marshal of that parade. And so we're looking forward to lots of decorated floats, marching bands. You'll see the rodeo committee horseback right behind that Grand Marshal in the parade. And then we go out with a bang on the evening of the 4th of July. And so once it gets dark, we'll have a choreographed fireworks display. And so there's no better place to see that display than in the seats at the Mandan Rodeo. Yes, you can see it from a hilltop from here and there, but this is a choreographed display and put to music. And so the best place to experience is to be right in those stands. So in general, I would say that we are very appreciative of all the volunteers that help make these events happen, and it's part of why we stake our claim on fun being made in Mandan, and we're grateful when the Bismarck Tribune recognized that back in 2017 when Mandan was named the City of the Year in North Dakota by the North Dakota League of Cities. So for more information on tickets for the Mandan Rodeo, it's mandanrodeo.com. You can purchase them online if you want to avoid standing in lines, or head to PetroServe in either Mandan or Bismarck, Dan Supermarket in Mandan, Butcher Block in Mandan, or Boot Barn in Bismarck for tickets. More information on Art in the Park at artintheparknd.com. And on the parade, mandanparade.com. I did put some schedule flyers and some Art in the Park brochures out in the lobby, so be sure to grab those on your way out. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lakin so that we can have a discussion with some of our partners in the Mandan Rodeo and talk about how independent business people are a part of bringing this whole process together with volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and have a seat. I miscounted. I'm going to go grab another chair while the rest of you make your way on stage. Great. Thanks, Janya. You're the best. This happened one other time. I was in charge of chairs, and maybe I should just no longer do that. Kate is going to be our mic runner today. As I mentioned earlier, go ahead and just have a seat. As I mentioned earlier, if you've got questions, holler. We'll get you the mic, or you can use hashtag 1MCND on Facebook, Twitter, or have we figured out how to take questions from YouTube? I don't know. I know. Look at these people. Okay, so this is my opportunity to introduce the friends that I was talking about. I'll start down on Ellen's end because you know her already. So Ellen Huber, she is seated next to Heather Jacobson Bauer, who is the chairperson of Mandan Rodeo Days Planning Committee. Next to her is Jason Middlestead, who is past chair and led us for 3 years. He's the one heading up the arena project, which we'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes. Then we've got Brent Schaff, who is our PR guy and rodeo entrepreneur himself. He's a local, and we'll hear a little bit about his business. And then seated next to me is Matt Tarr. He's our barrel man, and he's going to tell you what the heck that means. So why don't we just start there? What does it mean to be a barrel man? Tell us where you're from and how you got here.
I'm originally from Wyoming, live in Texas now. Barrel man is basically entertainment until the bull riding comes. I'm not there to have fun. I'm basically a big kid in a grown man's body, and they pay me for it. So I mean, it worked out pretty good. All those teachers that said, "Oh, you'll never amount to nothing acting like that," well, joke's on you. So, and then in the bull riding, just kind of an island of safety for the bullfighters, bull riders. They can come out to that barrel and let that barrel get hit instead of them. I mean, everybody goes to a car race or anything like that. They want to see a wreck. They just don't want to see anybody hurt. So
Sure.
the barrel's an opportunity to let somebody get hit.
And is it you? Has it been you?
It has, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's
I saw you were moving a little slow today. Is that why?
older ones, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't been smoked
Sure.
here lately, but yeah, it's just residual.
Great. Well, it's not going to happen this week either. I'm positive of that. So if you've ever been to a rodeo, Matt would be the guy with the painted face in the barrel in the arena, providing that island of safety, like you
Right,
said.
right. Rodeo clown
Sure.
is what they used to call us. I've been called way worse,
Yeah.
but I mean,
So how did you get into that profession? What
I grew up around rodeo. I've roped all my life. When I was 18, a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, I got to go fight some bulls. You want to come?" And I was dumb enough to go. And fought bulls for about 8 years, and it just progressed into clowning. And
Sure.
it's when you got a family, it's a little more safe and a little more protective for them, not getting
Yeah.
hurt as bad all the time. So we
Sure.
took that avenue, and it's worked out great.
Excellent. You want to pass it to Brent? We'll start there. It's a good segue because you used to fight bulls too, huh?
Yeah, my story actually started pretty similar to Matt's. I was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, and fought bulls for about 8 years, and realized that I felt I was better suited for another spot in the rodeo world, but really enjoyed the business of it and the production of it, and being involved in entertaining fans and creating really energetic environments for the competitors. There's a big difference in walking into, like Ellen said, a pro rodeo here in Mandan versus going into an amateur rodeo in Timbuktu. The music's louder, the ambiance is bigger, the stage is bigger, the money's bigger, and when people ride in that arena, they understand that, and so that's something Mandan takes very seriously, and something we do a very good job at is making it a big show and making it entertaining.
Awesome. Yeah. So Brent actually put together a beautiful video that I failed to get into the slide deck, so I apologize.
That's okay.
We'll post it. We'll post it on our social media channels after.
I don't really feel that bad.
I know. I'm aware. But I feel bad. I will carry that guilt. And we'll post it on social after the show today so that you can get some recognition. But you've got an entrepreneurial adventure now, too, with Hooked Up Enterprises. So could you talk a little bit about how you started that journey and what it looks like for you today?
So in 2017, like I said, I had kind of found myself in a personal pickle that I had been fighting bulls for a long time, and decided I didn't really think it was fun anymore. Like Matt said, it's really dangerous, and it's something where one, you're traveling all the time, and two, it's hard on you mentally and physically. It's something that will wear on you very quickly. And like I said, I loved rodeo, but I felt like I was better suited somewhere else. And so a couple of buddies of mine, and a buddy of mine and myself started a business, Hooked Up Enterprises, and our goal was to, at first we started making custom jerseys and shorts and stuff for other rodeo athletes, because they didn't have a place to get them and didn't have anybody that catered specifically to them. Now they do. And so we started there, and now we produce large format displays and signage. We help produce a number of events, including the Badlands Circuit Finals, the Days of 76, the Mandan Rodeo, and a handful of others around the country. And it's what started as a pipe dream is starting to become a real thing. So it's been a really exciting run.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. I know we've appreciated having Brent's eye for production on the committee, and you'll see that in the videos that are now on the website, some of the social posts. It definitely looks professional and high quality, so thank you for leaning into that.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Jason, you are our past president or past chair, and now you're heading up our arena project. Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
So what we're trying to do is, and Ellen did a great job of kind of explaining the people that are involved with setting this up. It's a huge collaborative effort, and has been for a number of years. I think we're on our 31st year this year setting up this arena. Our rodeo has grown a lot over the years. It has changed hands a couple times in the form of management, but the team today has done a terrific job of running things, and it certainly has grown. So what we're trying to do is try to find a permanent setup to where we could take a little pressure, off of the other people that we need to pull this off. The city has been terrific, but it is quite expensive. We have a lot of residual expenses as a committee, things that we need to redo every year. There's a lot of sound and video equipment that needs to be wired and set up. The electricians that we need to hire every year to run power, and everything's temporary. And so getting a permanent setup for us to where we can actually purchase things, have equitable value, which is extremely important for us, would be a terrific thing. So we reached out with the help with the city and Parks and Rec, hired an architectural firm, Icon. They're from Mandan, and they've come up with some terrific ideas for us. So we're currently in the process of kind of weeding through some options. Don't really have anything narrowed down yet, but it's looking promising. So we're hoping within the next year or two, hopefully, be able to have a permanent setup so we can set things up to where everything's a lot easier for everybody. We started this setup a week ago with, well, about a week and a half ago actually, with the city starting with their big equipment, tearing down that track, and then Parks and Rec comes in after that and helps setting up. And then we've been there, I think we're on our 5th day as a committee, you know, working on some things. And hopefully, and then tomorrow morning slack starts, and it's going to be a slide into home plate. Excuse me, until we get things completed and ready to roll. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for leaning in.
Yeah.
I promise to have that script written in time. Heather, you have been the chairperson. Is this your first year? Remind me. Second?
This is my first year
First.
as chairman. Yes.
Yeah.
Chairwoman, chairman, the president.
Chairperson. Anyway.
the boss.
Yeah. Yeah. So Heather and Jason are the official fire putter outers of the team. And I personally was excited to see a female get to that leadership spot. I think that's pretty progressive of us. Can you talk a little bit about your experience so far and how it's been as a leader?
So yeah, it's so far it's been pretty good. A lot of details that go into putting this rodeo on. A lot of people that are part of it. I mean, couldn't do it without our committee members, our volunteers that put their time into and their efforts into bringing this rodeo on. What else would you like to know?
That's great. That's wonderful. Yes, you're right. I would be remiss, and thank you, Kate, for reminding me. We've got some rodeo royalty here with us today. So we've got Mandan Rodeo Day's queen, Becky Binstock, and she's here with Megan Jean Hertz, who is our princess. You can just stand and say hi or introduce yourself quickly and talk a little bit about your experience in rodeo and what got you here.
Well,
She's got the mug mic.
I got the fancy one.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am Becky Binstock, and I'm the current Miss Rodeo Mandan. And it has been a blast representing the Mandan Rodeo Days the last year. And I'm super excited for this weekend. Megan and I have a couple packed days before the rest of the visiting royalty shows up. And then on Saturday, we will have our pageant. And on Sunday, we will get to crown some new Mandan Rodeo Days royalty. So it's a super fun week for us, and we're super excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Megan.
Hi there, I'm Megan Hertz, and I am the Miss Rodeo Mandan Princess. Just like Becky said, this whole experience has been so fun representing the Mandan Rodeo Days, and I can't wait to see what the new girls bring.
Awesome. Megan, before you take the mic back, do you want to tell us a little bit about maybe the predicament you found yourself in? She had a little accident, actually a pretty big accident at the junior high finals a few weeks ago.
So I was recently crowned the junior high queen just a couple weeks ago, and I was helping out at the high school pageant, and I hit a post and I flung off my horse and I broke my femur, but I'm going to be getting a lot better, and I'm just super excited.
Yeah. Cowgirls
on
are
horse.
tough. Let's give her a hand. Yeah.
Yeah, of everybody here, she's the one who's injured. I mean, these guys look fine to me, but I don't know.
Bulls, schmoles, whatever.
If you guys have questions, raise your hand and I'll bring you the mug.
Okay, so I had a chance to go to the PBR Challenge 2 weeks ago. It was my first time seeing bull riding in person. So I've seen the quality of the bulls that the same person is going to be bringing to Mandan. This is a dumb question. I know how you guys got into, now you explained how you got into bull fighting, but how in the heck does one start bull riding? I mean, how do you learn that without serious damage to yourself? I mean,
well, one, you got to have a couple of screws loose. The old rodeo clown and announcer joke is, why would you want to put a helmet on the brain that told you to get on a bull? But the again, it comes from, one, being a cowboy and being around ranching and rodeo, and two, a lot of them now, they're starting to progress into professional athletes. These guys train to do it. It's something that's, you can really live a rock star type of lifestyle if you're successful at it. Now with the PBR and the PRCA and a lot of other associations, there's a lot of money to be had if you're a talented bull rider or any other discipline, really. And it's something that takes a lot of time and that not everybody gets to do, and it's a young guy's sport, but we've got some pretty serious talent entered this weekend. JB Mooney is a guy that's won 2 world titles in the PBR and $8 million or something like that. One of the richest bull riders in the world, and he's entered on Friday's performance. I'm hoping he doesn't turn out. I'm hoping he shows up, and I think Chad would probably have something to say if he probably turned out. So
Yeah.
I bet he'll be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to answer that question, just being kind of at the right place at the right time.
I could piggyback a little bit off what Brent is saying. So Chad Berger, for example, who has his beautiful place south of Mandan on Highway 6, he actually hosts schools there, and young cowboys who are looking to become better bull riders get to practice there. So there are other opportunities. So, they teach them, for example, how to get off, and when you buck off, how to, get yourself safe. But these kids start at a young age, and so you're going to see mutton busting at the Mandan Rodeo. Sometimes that's inspiration, or sometimes it's what scares them into getting a good horse and a rope in their hand, too. And then there's, things like calf riding and steer riding. So the Mandan Horse and Saddle Club has that, and we build these levels. And in junior high rodeo, they actually put the bareback rigging or the saddle bronc saddle on a large steer, and so they kind of advance them, through these levels until you get that courage and the ability, but also the instruction from people who have been there, done that, to get on the full-fledged large bucking bulls.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of selecting my own bull when I was entered in a junior rodeo, and I was 12, and I chose the smallest steer in the bunch, and he fell over when they opened the gate. So that was the end of my bull riding career. Kayla.
This is a dumb question, but I'm a city kid, so the closest thing I have to this is I was in the 2007 production of Oklahoma at Magic City Campus. I played Floozy number 4.
So does Matt.
Yo. It's tough work, but somebody has to do it, yeah. Okay, so, but you, you guys are all remarkably well-dressed, and I just want to know what's up with the belt buckles. Like, is there significance to them, or how do you determine how you hold up your pants?
Well, it's for, I don't know, like a Super Bowl ring or a trophy or something like that. All these were won at competition, or like mine, they gave it to me at the circuit finals. So you go to a finals and they give you, it's basically a trophy, for lack of better terms, that holds up our pants. Yeah.
And then
It's weird. I mean,
Dual purpose. Very
yeah. Usually you can hold up a trophy. Now you got to be weird and look at somebody's belt line, But yeah, basically just a trophy.
It's also inspiration to stay slim, because when your gut gets too big like mine, you can't wear it anymore.
Although they're getting creative in ways to display them now. You can put belt buckles on your purses.
Oh yeah, horses, breast collars, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Lots of innovation. Go ahead.
Well, thanks for being here. And by the way, I'm a proud Mandan alumni. Yeah. And incidentally, I was Abe Lincoln for the last half dozen years for the parade, and Goofy for the children's portion of the rodeo. But my question, Ellen, financially, what does this mean for the city of Mandan in the next 4 days?
I know the Convention and Visitors Bureau has some statistics on what the typical visitor spends in our community, and I don't know those off the top of my head. But what I do know is it brings us an opportunity to just bring, literally thousands of people into our community, and then also bring back a lot of alumni. And so as we're in this challenge to find talent and workforce to fuel our small businesses, that opportunity to bring people back home and have them see the great things that are happening in Mandan and Bismarck and North Dakota as a whole, and perhaps return to live here, I mean, I think that's fantastic. It's just, it's a tremendous opportunity to showcase our community. As we talked about, these roughly 800 cowboys and cowgirls that are coming into the community. They're all buying gas, eating at restaurants, and et cetera. So that's a great thing. And then about 7 years ago, maybe, we did an intercept survey at the Mandan Rodeo, talking to spectators as they came in. And at that time, we found that about 50% of them were outside of the Bismarck-Mandan area, and then about the other 50% coming from within. And many of them there for their first rodeo. Again, about 50% brand new to rodeo, and about 50%, kind of diehard fans, too. So there's just, a bundle of tremendous opportunity in there, I think.
Go ahead, Don.
As also a Mandan kid, I have to really hold my tongue and not ask how everybody's related and who is your dad. But anyhow, going forward with the new arena, can you talk about what your attendance is and how it has grown over the past number of years as you've been using Centennial Park, but also what the future and the future goal is, the capacity, and how to continue the growth in capacity in a new space while also planning out for the future?
That's a good question. So our capacity today, our goal to shoot for, because our grandstands hold right around 3,500 people. We thought it was right around 3,000, but I think we actually counted it this year. I think it's right around that 3,500 people, and so that's always our goal. It does get quite full. We have in the past had to bring in additional bleachers to try to alleviate some pressure on those seats. But just like any other committee or any other organization, you strive to do better. Our hopes would be, someday in our planning processes, to have a set of grandstands that would seat a minimum of 4,000 and then hopefully reach 6,000, someday. And that could be done in phases as things grow, But it's a reachable goal. I do think that can happen, so, yeah.
Go ahead.
I think this kind of segues onto that in just, North Dakota, this is a huge part of our history. So I love this. I get totally into it. But one of the challenges we're having on the farm side is that kids that grow up in a farming family don't necessarily want to take over the family farm. And I'm wondering, is the same true on the ranching side? And are people still very interested in getting into rodeo? Or are you having trouble recruiting and keeping a high level of interest in that sport? Now, I got to say $8 million is a big incentive, to get on a bull. And I got to see the person who won 2 weeks ago was sponsored by Monster, and he was incredible. I mean, you could just tell he was a world champion and the difference. But anyway, that aside, how's recruiting? I mean, is it tough to keep kids interested, or?
I can start and just jump in. So the PRCA is very big. They talk about that a lot, about making sure that our committees do something to promote kids' events. So that certainly helps. It gets talked about a lot. To be completely honest, these guys can tell me if I'm wrong here. I think the numbers, and they do track that, on the pro side of things, of where we're at, how many contestants this year versus next year versus 30 years ago. And I think if 15, 20 years ago, if you were going to graph it out, it kind of had a bit of an uptick. Right now, it's flat. I don't think we're really losing anybody, but they're maintaining pretty close to the numbers, that they're at. I don't know if you can elaborate more, on the recruiting side or how they maintain their numbers. But.
Kind of playing off of what Ellen said earlier, a big part of that is educating the youth as far as just the sport in general and how to do it well. because there's a lot of clinics in schools, but there's also some not so good ones in there too, and you can learn a bad habit and be steered away from that sport really easily. So it's really important that youth clinics and things like that take pride and bring quality instructors. Like Jason said, I think you're seeing a flat line right now, and maybe some events are worse than others. Like in some of the rough stock events, you're seeing a slight decline, maybe except for the bull riding, just because of the PBR's popularity. But for instance, in the bareback and the saddle bronc riding, you're seeing a little bit less. However, this year we've got pretty impressive numbers as far as entries go, but maybe we're an outlier in that case too. But maybe Matt.
Well, and I was going to say, I think Heather and I, being timed event competitors, Heather's a barrel racer as well. The timed events are going skyrocketing. Barrel racing, there are what are called 4 and 5D barrel races that give people an opportunity to get started if you don't have the fastest horse or you're not the most experienced. And this all feeds then into professional barrel racing because that's our dream. Team roping is the equivalent of golf for a cowboy. You can team rope until you're, I don't know, they're probably well above 70 years old. There's barrel racers that have made it to the national finals rodeo that are senior citizens. So horse ownership and the equine athlete side of it is just skyrocketing.
And I think on the amateur side of things that lead into pro, and we're kind of we're talking about on the pro side of things, but on the amateur side of things, I think that there's a huge number of people.
But it all
that compete
feeds
in
because
but it all
every
feeds
child
into
grows
the
up
pro,
wanting
right.
to be.
Yeah, because I don't know if anybody here has been to the high school event or the high school rodeo that gets hosted, or and junior high events and things like that. Huge turnout, with the number of contestants there. So it's very promising for how popular that is locally. Here for us, it's a pretty big deal for most folks.
I think media plays a huge part in that also. I mean, we've got the Cowboy Channel, we've got RFD TV, we've got outlets now, and like even sitting right here, we have an opportunity to touch people, reach new fans, explain, maybe answer questions, or there's a lot of misconceptions out there on flank straps and this and that, and what a lot of these animals truly do mean to us. So to have an avenue or different outlets to explain that and to reach new fans, and as young as the junior high it's an association now. When I was a kid, you and 6 buddies got out in the pasture, and whatever you roped, you rode. I mean, so it's a different day and age, and I think that does nothing but help, and we'll see the residual of that in the next 5-10 years. But I think this day and age, Facebook, all the media outlets, that's going to play a huge role in where this sport goes. And I mean, I'm not going to last forever. I'm going to wear out, but kids are the future. I was a kid once, and I came from just standing outside the fence and somebody giving me a high five. That's how it starts. So for us being on the inside, we need to be cognizant of that and realize that these are kids, and one high five, one something can change the whole spectrum of what they want to do when they grow up. So
Heather, can you talk about just the growth in women being a part of the events and the sport in general?
So we brought in breakaway roping, as Ellen had mentioned earlier, is a sport that for our PRCA that we brought in this year. Excited to have all the numbers that we do have present. We have barrel racing also for our PRCA rodeo. Those are pretty much the 2 that are available in PRCA.
We do see some women jump into the team roping as well on the professional level, but I think we have 155 breakaway ropers this year, and
Correct.
so just some of the one of the gals who's sitting 8th in the world right now, her name's Samantha Fulton. She was a Jorgensen from Watford City. We're going to see her in action here, but we're going to have the top ranked contestants definitely from
Yep.
from around the country. And so breakaway ropers and female cowgirls are grateful to the Mandan Rodeo for adding that event. I've been just seeing a ton of favorable comments on social media about that.
It's awesome.
Go ahead, Adam.
So going back to big names in the sport of rodeo and also recruiting, can you let us know who some of the local talent is in several of the events for people to come watch?
So we have Ty Brewer, who is from Mandan. He has been to the NFR several times. He's competing at our rodeo this year, so he's kind of our star, I would say. We have also Bridger Anderson, who is from, I think, Carrington area, right? He's present also, and then Marmon.
Cameron. And Cameron's wife, Teddy, will be in the breakaway.
Yes. Yep. So they are
family
present
sport.
too. So yeah, we do have quite a few North Dakota locals coming in. Isaac Diaz, he is married to Brittany. Used to be Fleck, but now Diaz. He's coming in and participating also.
Just some uppercomers. So we've got the Reese boy, why am I forgetting his first name, from Manning is coming up hot and heavy in the steer wrestling. Joe Nelson from the Watford City area. Clay Jorgensen in the bareback riding has been placing at pro rodeos. Ben Kramer from the Denby Towner area just won a bunch of money or is sitting high with a 86 in Greeley. And so, I mean, there's just a fantastic group of contestants. So, you know, I would say just estimating probably about 7/8 of our contestants are from out of state and about 1/8 from North Dakota, but our talent is just as good as anywhere in the country, and it's exciting to support these cowboys and cowgirls.
Yeah, it's almost like we're having a little mini NFR, I think, here for our contestants that we have present.
Yeah, so every year at the NFR during the grand entry, or at least it's been pretty customary, they do, at the very beginning, every state that brings competitors makes a lap with their state flag, and in the last few years, North Dakota has been pretty well represented, and I think that's going to happen this year, too.
And I think that speaks on what kind of committee and what kind of rodeo you guys actually have here in Mandan. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rodeos going on over the 4th of July. That's a big 4th of July celebration, but the one in Mandan is second to none, and it speaks a lot to what you guys have done and all the hard work that Mandan's put in and the city. And so from inside the PRCA, we want to thank you for giving us a spot to come out here and make a living.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think now would be a good time to just give a shout out to our junior high rodeo competitors who are killing it at the national level here this past week. So if you're curious, give that a Google and find out who the North Dakota contestants have been who are really representing us very well.
I think third-ranked team in the nation finished, if I recall correctly, and we've had some national champions, so fantastic group of youngsters coming up.
Very cool. Kirsten.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Knowing that rodeo is, I mean, you're totally involved if you're involved, and life of a cowboy or a cowgirl, I don't even know what that would mean. Like, that just is crazy, the amount of travel and how you prioritize where you're going to go next. Can you talk about what makes the Mandan Rodeo unique from a competitor's side and why people want to come here?
The money, the stock, the committee, these guys go above and beyond. Like this week especially, there's not a whole lot of stopping and eating. There's not a whole lot of sleeping. There's not a whole lot of showers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I take one twice a month, whether I need it or not. Okay. Yeah, I did. But I mean, they make sure that they've got some hot food in their belly, some cold drinks, places to set their horses so their horses can have breaks. I mean, it goes so much further than just the rodeo. It goes into these are professional athletes, and this week they will beat the crap out of themselves, for lack of a better term, physically, mentally, emotionally, and this is all money coming out of their pocket, so they're betting on themselves 100%. But when they can come somewhere and they can just sit down in a chair and relax for 10 minutes and see a smiling face, somebody, if they need something, they're there to help. That's what makes Mandan Mandan. This is truly one of the best rodeos in the country. Not just 4th of July rodeos, but you guys have something very special here. And the way the committee and the city and everybody gets behind these cowboys and cowgirls, it means a lot. So then you're going to get the top tier, and then you've got the horses and bulls of Chad and Joe. I mean, there's no reason if you're rodeoing, you're coming to Mandan because of those opportunities. It's not a drawn contest. It's just whether you do your job.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Our shirts are white now, and if we sat down in a chair in the next 5 days, we might not be able to get out of it after 10 minutes, but well worth it, I think, for sure. Any other questions?
I just have one question before our last one, but are there rodeo princes?
Princes.
Aw.
Okay.
Brent.
He beat me to that one.
Brent is the prince of the rodeo.
Yes, is there a princess?
Princes. This is just the ladies that compete in that. Where are the good looking? I mean, let's put those guys on parade, you know what I mean? Let's get them out there. We can see what holds their pants up.
I believe that's called a Calcutta.
I'm going to have a sash on by Saturday.
You know, I think it sounds like a whole new boxers and brief opportunity that could be a side event, an afternoon event.
Ellen, you're on. This could be a charity event. Let's get them on the runway and raise some cash.
You bet.
Rodeo cowboys are pretty ugly, so and
You
they're
would see some white legs.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Rodeo cowboy. They're a lot like puppies. They're cute till they pee on your floor. So you just gotta.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe the ugliest. You know, honestly, when they do boxers and beers, the guys with dad bods are pulling in some cash. So you know.
Don't look at me.
Fundraiser.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
I like where your head's at, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great idea. So it is customary for us to ask the same last question. I'm really sorry, guys. I kept pushing the button in my pocket. That was my bad. So the same last question, Kate, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here and answering questions that are super strange and some typical questions. What we ask here at 1 Million Cups Bismarck Mandan is how can we, the Bismarck Mandan community, help you all succeed in your individual rodeo careers, or in your guys' case, volunteer committee or whatever it might be. So how can we help you guys out?
I think for us, just speaking on my side, I mean, it's just community coming together. We're not around our immediate family much. We're on the road, I mean, countless days. So to come up to a place where when you pull up, everybody knows your name, you know everybody's name, and it's that family atmosphere, and everybody comes out and gets behind what these guys have done. I think for me, you can't beat it.
I would say if there's one thing every individual can do to help grow the sport is to bring a friend. Buy a ticket and bring a friend that maybe has never seen it before, and I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Yeah, again, just to reiterate, definitely community support is a huge deal. These events are paid mostly all by sponsorships, so the community support that we currently have is amazing, between Mandan and Bismarck both, and without that support from all our sponsors and the community in general, we absolutely could not do this. It's a huge budget to do it, and we're always excited and exceptionally proud of our community already, but could always use more. So yeah, absolutely.
And then as we talk about sponsorships, we also, the volunteers, again, I can't stress enough how many volunteers it takes to put this rodeo on, the commitment, the hours that are put in, the meetings that we have through the year. I think we're a pretty fun bunch. We have positive attitudes, we laugh, we work hard, but I think overall we form some pretty good friendships. So it's a...
mistakes.
Yes, we do that. We have. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In a
Yep.
very constructive and respectful way.
Yes. Oh, yes. A very, very constructive and fun way. But no, if you're looking for a place to volunteer or learn more, yeah, come join us.
And you don't have to have rodeo experience to volunteer. I mean, we need people in the ticket office. We need ushers in the grandstands. You know, there's just a plethora of opportunities applying PR and advertising and marketing skills. And, you know, and in addition to the rodeo, the parade and the art in the park opportunities are all volunteer driven as well. So I would just add to what they said, you know, buy a ticket, attend, share your experience. If there's something you didn't like, tell us. If there's something you liked, please tell someone else and encourage them to go next year. And then as we talk about this vision for an improved facility, we would ask that you support that initiative as that comes up, you know, through the Mandan Park District, and perhaps as we seek visitors funding generated by restaurant and lodging tax in our community, and private sector business donations for that we envision building on the activities that we have there today. And there are just so many opportunities to have additional equine sports activities weekend upon weekend and weeknights and weekdays in our community, and there's just a lot of opportunity around that too, so we would ask you to engage and support that too.
Absolutely. Well, let's give them a hand.
Here with the buckles and boxers or something. Name TBD, but it's coming.
I like buckles and boxers.
That was pretty good, actually.
Here we go.
Pretty
Let's
darn
do
good. Love the brainstorming.
Stay tuned, folks.
There you are.
Make sure you buy a ticket to the 4th of July performance. We'll whip something up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Up, not out.
Okay, we've gone off the rails now. Anyway, we hope to see you at the Mandan Rodeo Days, whether at the Parade, Art in the Park, or the rodeo itself. Have other events happening, but my clicker has died, and so you'll just have to come back every week.
There we are.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. So, food co-op, the breakfast next week, right? Yes. Breakfast. Join us for breakfast at the food co-op next week, and then we'll be back with Get Cozy Bars on July 14th. As you exit today, feel free to take a photo with our lovely royalty here today. That's something they really enjoy about their job, and looks great on your social media feeds, folks. Okay, so that's all for today. See you at the rodeo.